Hey Simlies, how are you today? It's Deligracy here with another speed build, and I am building a cafe inspired by a painting, which is kind of a bit different for inspiration, but there's a painting by a very famous artist, Pierre Mondrian or Mondrian. I never actually know how to pronounce his name because I've only ever read it. I've never actually heard it. But when I was in high school and then at uni studying graphic design, I used to look at his artwork quite a lot. And I'm sure a lot of you guys are very familiar with it. I'll put it on the screen right now, one of his best known works. But yeah, this is basically what's going to inspire this cafe build. And I felt like in my Let's Plays, I was lacking community lots. So I've been wanting to do some community lot builds recently. And this is the first one. So basically, Mondrian's paintings were very abstract and pretty much colored squares and vertical and horizontal lines put together. And it's a bit difficult to understand his why he used to paint like this because he kind of talks about it representing spirituality in the world, which I don't quite understand. But I think the general consensus is that he chose to distill his representations of the world in or through basic horizontal and vertical lines and patterns. So it was a different way to approach painting back in the day, and he definitely influenced a lot of artists and still does today, which is pretty cool. And he was actually the founder or one of the founders of the Dutch modern movement, Decor. I don't know what that means, but it's basically the abstracting artwork, I think. Let's look it up. What is vestigial? Vestigial. I didn't actually study this movement. Oh, also known as neoplastism. Right. So that's a Dutch art movement founded in 1917 in Amsterdam. Shout out to the Dutch Simlies in this speed build. And okay. Yes, it's obviously very angular geometric artworks. It kind of looks a little bit futuristic as well, which is interesting. Cool beans. Well, anyways, basically the most obvious part of this build that represents Mondrian's work is the yellow, the red, the blue, the white, and the black color scheme. That was definitely a ongoing and reoccurring subject in Mondrian's paintings. So yeah, I thought that was kind of cool. And yeah, it says Mondrian's book on neoplastism became one of the key documents of abstract art. In it, he detailed his vision of artistic expression in which plastic simply referred to the action of forms and colors on the surface of the canvas as a new method for representing modern reality. That is cool. Very cool indeed. I love paintings. I find that if you don't know what to build in The Sims, what I personally do is I either tweet out and say, hey, do you guys have any ideas? Or you guys could just ask a friend or whoever, parents, buddy, whoever. Or the other thing I do is I just look at something visual and get inspired by that. So whether it's like looking at a pattern on a cushion with leaves on it, I'm like, oh, I'm going to do like an eco build with lots of curvy stuff. Or maybe I look at another building down the street or a book or a magazine or anything really can inspire you. So an old artwork is actually a pretty cool way to start off a build as well. So I highly recommend it. And okay, this is interesting as well because it says Mondrian's artwork clearly conveys the influence of various modern art movements such as Luminism, Impressionism, and most importantly, Cubism. So Cubism is basically using, well, it's pretty easy to understand because the word basically explains it, but Cubism is using, I guess, cubic, straight edges in paintings and creating the illusion of 3D objects through 2D painting. So Cubism was pretty cool. And it kind of looks like fragmented painting. Picasso was a big a big one in this movement. Pablo, the life of Pablo, not Kanye West, Pablo Picasso. So yeah, I actually did study Picasso once back in the day in school, and oh no, not Picasso. I looked at Duchamp. He was weird, man. Duchamp was such a weird dude. Like, he made this artwork that was basically a 3D installation where you look through a little hole in a wall and you see this naked lady lying in this fantasy world, and her beaver, like her vajayjay, is completely exposed when you peep through this hole. And it was like, as I studied it, it had all this symbolism in it because she's like holding a candle, and that's meant to represent kind of like the Statue of Liberty or something, but then she's lying on dead twigs and the background's all lively. So they're like, oh, maybe this is symbolic for her not being able to have children or something. And it was just such a weird thing to look at and study. And he just seems like a bit of a creeper, you know? I liked his urinal though. The Duchamp urinal is, or the R Mutt signed urinal is something super duper famous because he was one of the first artists, or really the first recognized artists to bring in a found object and stick it in a gallery in a different orientation, and everyone was like, what is this? This is an outrage. How can a urinal be an artwork? And they say he signed it R Mutt as to begin with, so no one knew it was by him, I think. So it was like a fake name. I don't know. Very interesting though. I also studied that one, and I've got to say, it actually had an article related to it about homosexuality, and they actually think that might have been to do with that artwork. So I thought that was pretty cool, or kind of commenting on it in a positive way. So, you know, I love looking at artworks. For half of you guys listening to this, you'll probably be like, why is Deli talking about art history? This is boring. But art history is something I've really enjoyed in school. I sadly had absolutely no interest in just normal history, world history. I just didn't enjoy it. I found it confusing. And really how I learned about the world was through something I liked, which is art. So instead I studied art history, which really taught me a lot of things. And I don't know, these examples of artwork, I don't know that much about them, and my brain's a bit hazy, but I love talking about it in any case. So hopefully some of you guys share that love with me, or otherwise hopefully you guys will learn something new. Is Marcel Duchamp, he's the dude who used to play chess with nude women. I remember that too. Very strange man. Interesting guy though. I'm looking up pictures of him right now, and he's kind of intense in all of his pictures. Oh my gosh. Artists were weird back in the day. I feel like artists don't get to be as famous as they used to be, or maybe you'll get famous over time. Like, these artists were super famous at the time, but they're well and truly way more famous now after many years after their works. So maybe that will happen. I don't know. One of my favorite things that Marcel Duchamp did was he shaped a coat hanger in the silhouette of a face. And I just thought it was so simple and so cool for back in the day. I really liked that artwork. It was cute as. And then he had another artwork. What was this one called? The nudes descending a staircase. And that was, I think it was a mix between Cubism and... was that futurist movement as well? I don't know. Let's have a look. Nudes descending a staircase. But it's like a fragmented, I guess, painting or depiction of someone moving down a staircase, a nude woman. And because it's Cubism, it's all very angular and severe. It's just kind of cool. Okay, it's widely regarded as a modernist classic, and it was rejected by the Cubists as it was too futurist. Well, it still recognizes Cubism these days, but Futurism was a really cool movement. You guys should look up futurist clothes design. It is so funny because this is basically what they were trying to do was or futurism clothes design. Basically, they were trying to show what they thought the future would be like. And I'm just looking up futurist art movement clothes design. It's so funny, the things that they put people in. It doesn't really come up in Google Images. Most of it's like current stuff, which is strange. Futurism art movement clothes design. There's a few things here. One of my favorites is this like crazy suit. It's an orange suit that's got like crazy triangles on it. And I'm pretty sure they were guessing that that's what people would want to wear in the future. And you're just like, oh, you are so wrong. And weird vests and stuff. But I think good job to them for giving it a shot and trying to break the barrier with new things. Because that's pretty cool. I used to always think about, I wonder when big dresses would come back in fashion. When I was younger, I was like to my mum, I can't wait for the big dresses to come back that they used to wear in the olden days. And she would always be like, Maddie, I don't think that's going to happen, but you never know. You never know. All right, back to this speed build because I went on a massive ramble. So basically this is the shape of the building and we've got the colors laid out. We've got some white tiles as well. I really wanted to use white tiles because I love the idea of using white tiles with primary colors. And it's just very stark. It's very, very cubist, isn't it? Cubist? No. Much like the Cubism movements, tiles made up of squares. So that seemed to go with the inspiration for this build. And it's meant, the lines of color are kind of meant to wrap all around the building and look really dynamic and interesting. And then inside this building is the cafe. But it's not just a cafe. I also put some chess tables out here where the trees are and that checkerboard pattern that's meant to represent a chessboard in the landscaping. So that's where you play chess. And we're also going to be using the chess outdoor lighting statues that came with, what did they come with? Did they come with Get Together? I don't know where these pieces came from. No, definitely didn't come from Get Together. They're from Stuff Pack. But I thought they were kind of cool being put outside, and then they're quite clever as well because then you can use them as outdoor lighting too. So they have two uses. I also felt like it was in the middle of nowhere, so I just decided to frame part of this build with a fence just to kind of keep it in check. And we're using a lot of black for these chess tables because that color was, the texture of the chess tables are quite, or the design of the chess tables aren't really very modern. They're very kind of just like a traditional wooden chess table. So I felt like the black not only went with the build, but also covered up the wood texture, whereas I would have preferred something like concrete, I think. And up here, I'm making a grass rooftop lookout where you can go all the way to the top and sit on the rooftop if you feel like it. And I thought that would be a nice spot for a first kiss with a few of my Sims. I love it when they have first kisses. I get so excited. My first kiss was really disappointing. My first kiss was Truth or Dare. I was playing Truth or Dare. And I had my first kiss when I was 15, I think. 15? Yeah. My other friends kissed boys before me. They're like kissing boys at 12, but I don't know. Deli waited and it was so bad because I had to, they were like, truth or dare? And I was like, dare. And they're like, we dare you to kiss this guy. And so we had to go out on the balcony and kiss so they could all see through the window. And I had braces and I totally just like clunked front teeth with him. It was just like kissing with the mouth open and going, how? I just hit my mic there. I don't know what that sounded like for you guys, but it was just like clenching teeth. It was so bad. And yeah. I mean, he was a good looking guy, so that was nice, but yeah. First kisses aren't like they are in The Sims. The love hearts don't fly up around you with sparkles, you know. I mean, some people might have a nice first kiss. Write in the comments down below your first kiss story or your dream first kiss, because I want to read them. I love finding out stuff like this. Alrighty, so in the toilets, I decided to go with the black and white toilet because I thought it went very nicely with the white tiles and the starkness between black and white, because when you have a strong contrast between primary colors, the strong contrast between black and white kind of unifies the whole thing and makes it look very nice. These mirrors I was a bit disappointed with. I wanted them to be all the different colors, but they didn't come in the right hues, which is an example of how much it bothers me that we don't have a custom color picker or just more swatches. It's just sad. I don't need the full creator style textures and whatnot. Oh, it looks like the screen's just slowed down a little bit. What was I doing here? Probably changing songs on Spotify or something. But I just like, I don't know. I don't need all of the textures like in creator style. I just need my colors. I just want custom colors. If The Sims ever adds a custom color picker to the game, I'll probably cry and lie on the floor and just stare at the ceiling, be like, my life is made. Like, I've achieved my life goal. This is all I need in life. I'm done. I mean, I'm still going, but I'm happy. I've reached human purity of the mind. Oh gosh, I'm so dramatic, but I love The Sims. Okay, I feel like there was a lot of blue going on in this part, so we make one of those walls red, and we are going to put a little nice sitting area in there using some geometric and color coordinated interior design. So you'll see that in a second. We've got the blue couch on the blue wall. We're going to have a red couch on or just next to the red wall, and we need a strip of paint there because I love putting just one strip of paint on another color wallpaper just because it looks so, I don't know, I like it because it's asymmetrical balance and I think it looks dope. Actually, Mondrian, or however you say his name, was a big fan of asymmetrical balance, and most of his artwork is based on that. Let's see how his name is pronounced, actually. Mondrian, Pierre, pronounce. Okay, let's see. How to pronounce Mondrian. Okay, I'm waiting for it. Oh, it is Mondrian. Mondrian. Okay. I swear it was pronounced differently though. Oh well. Well, that's good if you guys weren't yelling at the screen being like, "You're pronouncing it wrong, Deli." Oh dear. And up here, I was really proud of my little toilet stickers on the doors and on the walls. I like them on the glass because it makes it more realistic, the build. Because if you're downstairs at the cafe and you're like, "Excuse me, where's the bathroom?" They'll be like, "Oh, just go up the stairs and follow the signs." So follow the signs out the door. It's a bit of a maze to get there because you do have to go out onto the balcony, but there's this nice sitting area where you can go and sit too. So lots of room for your Sims to mingle and have a bit of a chinwag. And if this was a real community lot in real life, you would definitely not have white ottomans outside or white little stools because they would get dirty so quickly in this like cushion fabric. I do not recommend. But it's a Sim, so I was like, I'm going to do it because I can. We also needed to put some outdoor lighting around here because it was a little bit dark even with the floor outdoor lighting lanterns. So I've just put in these really simple / cheap looking fluorescent lights, which I've noticed a lot of places are using fluorescent lighting now. There was kind of a period where people avoided using it because it did look cheap, but now it's kind of cool. Like my house actually has some kind of fluorescent lighting in it, and I believe it saves a lot of electricity. That's the point of using them. But I cannot stand it when it's in fashion change rooms. I'm like, are you kidding me? Do you want me to buy your clothes from your store? Because if you want me to buy them, I need to feel good in your clothes when I'm trying them on. And a fluorescent light is not going to do that. Fluorescent lights make the human body look so bad if they're from above you. And that's why I hate trying on swimwear in change rooms. I'd much rather just try them on at home, order them online, and send back the ones I don't want, because that fluorescent lighting just not a good time. So if you guys know what I'm talking about and you have the fluorescent lighting feels when you try on some clothes, you know what? I'm glad we're in this together, because it drives me nuts. Because if I had a retail store, I would get rid of those lights and spend the money to get some nice lighting in there. It would make such a difference, and I swear you would sell that many more clothes. So the moral of this speed build story is, if any Simlies out there, if you own a retail shop, or your family does, or someone you know does, recommend to them replacing those fluorescent lights. It'll be the best business decision you ever made. Trust me. Oh, and I also put some speakers in here because I felt like we needed some feel-good music. I feel like this place, because it's a little bit quirky, would have some kind of sweet beats happening. Could also put some arcadey things in here as well if you have the Sims 4 get together. That would probably go quite nicely in here. And the foosball table upstairs as well would be quite good. I did use things from different stuff packs and game packs, but a lot of the build, like the actual build, the windows and doors, are from the base game. So, because I just was thinking, for those of you who don't have those game packs and stuff packs and expansion packs, I kind of kept you guys in mind so that if you wanted to download this, there wouldn't be too much work for you. But I know you guys have been really asking for more base game only stuff. So, and I keep saying I'm going to do it. I have so much trouble doing that because I'm like, no, I just want to use all the new pretty things. I'll try and do another build for this week using base game only. Base game. Don't you love the word base? Like base. Such a fierce word. Back to basics. Alrighty, so this is the little cafe area and kitchen. Oh, and by the way, obviously the cafe stuff, you need to have the Sims 4 get together. So actually that makes it a bit more difficult. But you could just put the coffee base game stuff in if you wanted to as well. That could work. Or if you have dine out, you could put in a bar maybe or something. Or make it into a little restaurant. That could work too. And put the chef station out in that little back area. There's a lot you can do with this. And if you'd like to download it, it is on the Sims 4 gallery under the username Deligracy. So it's up there. Okay, so I was a little bit inspired by a cafe here in Melbourne. I think it was here in Melbourne or maybe in Sydney. I can't recall where it was exactly. But it's certainly a trend I've been noticing recently at cafes. Or actually, it was a little while ago. But it was a trend where the cafes were decorating the walls with their chairs by hanging the chairs up, which I'm doing right here. And then they could pull the chairs down if they needed them to seat extra people. So they put the chairs on the walls. And I know some of you guys will be like, what is this? Like, what are you doing, Dolly? But this is something that was going on in Australia. And I thought it was cool. I liked it. They were nice looking chairs as well that they would hang on the wall, and they made it so it looked really nice. So I put these piping wall pieces on the wall to kind of make it look like you could hook the chairs onto them. But oh my gosh, when I went into live mode, it was so funny because the Sims can actually sit on the chairs on the wall. Like they will just sit on the wall. I don't even know how they're able to do it, but they were all sitting on the wall, like way off the ground. And I was like peeing my panties. I thought it was so funny. So you might want to get rid of them. I don't know. I'm going to leave them there because I like a little giggle myself. Oh, so funny. And here's some outdoor seating. Yeah, this definitely could be made into a restaurant if you wanted to, because you could get rid of that 4-seater table next to that pot plant and extend the kitchen from the other side to make it bigger. Or maybe put host stations there or something, and that would work perfectly well, perfectly nicely, perfectly well. It would work well. And I also felt like I wanted to make it a little bit more realistic with this little bin area, outdoor bins going there, because usually at a cafe or something, there'll be some kind of bins and recycling out the back. And of course, we needed proper bins too. So they're being all placed in. And we needed to finish off with a little bit of landscaping. So placing in those rocks just to make it look a little bit more natural, really lush and green, and terrain painting to finish it off. So that'll now take us to the screenshots. So this is a final build. Again, it's inspired by the Mondrian paintings. So I highly recommend you guys looking at paintings to inspire your builds, especially Cubism, because obviously you build in The Sims with straight walls. And then this cafe was so popular. Look how many people are waiting for their coffee. I didn't get a picture of them sitting on the chairs on the wall, unfortunately, but hopefully you guys can check that out and enjoy it. And there's also some fridges there at the door in case they want to grab some takeaway stuff. And we've got the one coffee shop man there working away. I like how the cupboards change colors depending on the wall paper behind them. I thought that was kind of cool. And here's the big outdoor chess set landscaping. A little bit of fun and lots of outdoor seating. So all your Sims in the neighborhood can go sit down, enjoy the sunshine, have a coffee and mingle with each other. And that cubey square fountain object was perfect for this build because, again, going with that cubism theme. And I put two together. I kind of put them in an interesting orientation. So it was double fountain goodness instead of just one, because one by itself just was not making the cut for me. The more the merrier. And there's my toilet signs, which I'm very proud of. So no Sims will get lost looking for that bathroom. And here's just one shot of the bathroom. It was a bit hard to take a picture because of the orientation, but you get the general idea there. And we'll finish off with a couple of shots from the outside as well. Thanks guys so much for watching. And I hope you're having a lovely morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world. I look forward to speaking to you guys super duper soon. Love you.